right, let's start a new one. Our next brand here is going to be ThriveCart. So, it has the word Thrive in it, which is kind of funny, but yeah, obviously you guys, some of you might know what ThriveCart is. It's a software that lets you like build upsells and landing pages and let you build your courses and whatnot. I actually bought it recently, and I'm probably going to put this very workshop in there later, and that way I can give you guys a more streamlined, more formal version of access to this stuff. But it's a software tool. It's not a supplement brand. So we're looking at something different here, right? We're looking at a totally different niche. I'm obviously the target audience, but SaaS is still a totally different world than health supplements. So let me just get right into it here. We're on ChatGPT 4.0. Note that's what we're using, the model. I run a software brand / SaaS, because I think it's technically a SaaS, even though you can buy like a lifetime license for one big fee and then you never have to pay again. It's still a SaaS that sells, we'll say like cart / landing page, because ChatGPT will know what cart / landing page / course building software for digital entrepreneurs and creators. Here is the brand, ThriveCart. Let's see if ChatGPT can get this right once again. We'll say to help them. To help. We'll just leave it. We'll see if ChatGPT can work with this. Oh, I forgot to tell it to not use the memory feature, but that's not a big deal because this is the last live writing breakdown that we're going to do. So, but as you can see, memory updated, and now it'll have a memory bank. So that's actually good. You guys get a little, you get to see that. But, oops. First, tell me about this brand. Let me get that next prompt loaded up right now. But as you can see, it's doing the same thing. What it does, it's key features. Rather than like its key products. It knows that it's a product itself and it has features within the product. Oh yeah, even here, lifetime pricing, key differentiator. I bought it. Actually, I bought like the highest level one, I guess, and I paid one one kind of large fee, but now I never have to pay for it again. So that's a key differentiator. I know as the target audience, that's cool to just be able to buy it and never have to pay again. Who it's for. This is all true. I know people who use ThriveCart for their own products, and I'm affiliates for people who use ThriveCart to promote their products. So I send people to ThriveCart stuff. Why people choose it. Would you like competitor comparison? So next, we're just going to go, give me a buyer persona for this brand. Rachel Carter. So in this case, since, Just Thrive, it probably skewed a little bit female, whereas, I already forgot the brand. Good Ranchers probably skewed a little more male, but it could go both ways. And then, what was the first brand? Nomad Capitalist probably skews more heavily male. This one is probably right in the middle because, it's just online business, right? So it might skew a little bit male, but I think this one could be right in the middle. So it actually makes sense that ChatGPT would make our buyer persona Rachel Carter. So in this case, though, if you wanted, you could create a male persona. It might make more sense to do the extra work to create a male persona, just because it's more broad in terms of gender and whatnot, which it appeals to, who it appeals to. So either way, the buyer persona, $120,000 a year. I would say that's fairly accurate, but maybe that would be like profit, like their personal income at some point, because they have courses. They're able to, they're probably making decent money with those. But I know people who use ThriveCart who are probably making, I don't know their income, but they're probably making more than that. But this hits hard. Frankenstein setup of course platforms, payment gateways. Yeah. That's true. There's some tech things I had to work out to make sure you guys got all the confirmation email and stuff. That was a nightmare to figure out. So it's a pain point. Trust me. Powerful emotions, fears, other solutions. Oh, see, it even names all the other ones. We're not gonna disparage those in our emails, but it does name like the competitors and alternatives. So either way, oops, wrong one. Here, example emails. We're gonna go over to the ThriveCart live writing demonstration one. I actually pulled these from its like onboarding sequence, I think, or something. And another. One more. And then go back to the prompts. Oh, ChatGPT always has to do that. All right, I'll get that next prompt loaded up and ready. What's the buyer persona's name again? Rachel, okay. So I'll just get this loaded up to sell. I won't make that mistake this time. ThriveCart products, address Rachel. Buyer persona is just to help us tailor our messaging. All right, I've got the voice locked in. I've got, boom. First, we need to write an abandoned checkout email. Oops, that was weird. Abandoned checkout email sequence. I was thinking we do 5 emails. The first 3 are more variations on reminder emails. Actually, you know what? Before we even get into that, do not first, or no, do you know what this is? Don't write it yet. Just confirm you know what it is. I always like to make sure because I mean, ChatGPT knows what it is, but I always like to make sure we're all on the same page. We do 5 emails for this sequence, and again, that was what I typed earlier, and then I cut it and then repasted it. So on reminder emails with a line or 2 of benefits, big benefit / differentiator, and the last 2 will be a tiny bit more in depth on the big benefits of getting ThriveCart and why they should finish their purchase. Oops, complete. Now, I've never, or I think I've done it like once or twice with a template of like a sequence, and it has used that template and actually changed it enough to make it unique. I've never just had it, maybe once, but rarely ever just had it just like write an entire sequence without me like giving it a template when it comes to an email sequence. So first, thoughts? Don't write just yet. All right, write the sequence. Include. Oh, it already started. It's 1 day ahead of me, or 1 step ahead of me. Cool. Good. Good. Write the sequence. All right. This might take a minute, so let's just watch it generate. Okay, again, as you can see, loves M dashes. I don't know, like you could go back and correct it or tell it to stop using M dashes. But I mean, I might expand on these emails a little bit more. I might, because ThriveCart is, it's a business investment. So business owners are willing to, spend a little more money if they get a return on their, investment in terms of helping their business. But you still might want to expand a little bit more and do like another line or 2 of education, even in the second email. But I mean, and this isn't anything like groundbreaking. Like this is a fairly standard abandoned checkout sequence. Like your cart's still waiting for you. Like that's pretty generic. So you could go back and workshop subject lines. But here, let me start at the top real quick, just so you guys see it. So there's the first email. Just go ahead and skim that. That's besides the M dashes, that's like 85% of the way there, in my opinion. Although, except for one other problem, they probably want to add one more CTA below this line. But forgot something, classic subject line. Email too. Your cart's still waiting for you. And you can, preview text, you can have it generate ideas for preview text. I'm not going to do that because, we're going on pretty long here. So I'll just get through these emails. This sounds good, especially no monthly fees ever. Especially, you purchased the lifetime thing. I like the way it phrases that. No monthly fees in parentheses ever. It has just that little bit of brand voice edge to it. But yeah, button, subject. You're this close. Again, not the best subject line, but it's workable. It's like a working subject line, like a working title, kind of like a working subject line. That's, I think it's a little short again. Even though you want these first 3 emails to be a little shorter, you could still probably add a line in there. Complete your ThriveCart purchase. I'd also delete these emojis before the buttons. I mean, you're not going to put an emoji in front of like a graphic button that you put in Klaviyo or ConvertKit or whatever. Boom, subject. Why 100? That's a good angle, Why 100,000 plus creators chose ThriveCart? There's an element of proof built into that. 100,000 people are using this to promote their own businesses, their own products. So again, I would probably do a bit more storytelling in here instead of just like spamming the benefits again. I'm probably, because we want more freedom, less tech hassle, and more sales, you could probably feature, like, we'll say, I don't know, let's say a customer's name is Sarah, like Sarah, who says blah, 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 blah. And we have Sarah's testimonial, and John, who says, and then we have John's testimonial about how ThriveCart made it easier. And then we can have like a CTA there. And then here's a reminder of what you'll unlock when you join. So, I don't want to go and spend 18 minutes like doing that for you in front of it. I'm just trying to give you the idea because I do want to leave like 5 minutes for Q&A here at the end. But I think you get what I'm saying. You could take this email and just kind of using your own just intuition, just be like, yeah, we could add testimonials here, or we could add a little bit more benefit copy here. Email 6, just one final check-in before we close out your bank. This one, I'd probably rewrite a little more. I would really hit on, ChatGPT loves to just like list everything. So if I were going to do anything here, I would say, let's vary the emails a little bit. And let's not like, especially the last 3 emails, let's not just constantly list the benefits. Let's try to like expand on the big 2 benefits, or like what life looks like after they buy ThriveCart, how it makes their life better. We want because when it comes to a brand like ThriveCart that has that more personal kind of tone to it, and it's a higher ticket purchase, it's several $100s at the minimum for the lifetime subscription, you want to do a little more, expanding on the benefit, how great life is going to be after, some more storytelling. In fact, in abandoned checkout, I probably go to 6 or even 7 emails for a product like this, but I think you guys see what I'm saying. This got like the skeleton, and even the skeleton and a little bit of the meat on the bones, even for an abandoned checkout, especially near the beginning. And I would still come up with preview texts here. The time delays look right. Except for I would make this day 5. If it's an abandoned checkout and you're urgently trying to drive purchases, you're not going to wait a day. Bonuses, deadlines, or alternate versions. So if you want, you can work with it and do that. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, you can ask it to be like, if you aren't sure, it's like, how would we set up the trigger in Klaviyo? You'd ask it that, and you'd obviously want to fact check that. You want to see if it matches with Klaviyo's own documentation. But once you know, like, it'll probably tell you the right answer, or at least guide you to the right answer, how to set up the triggers and filters and all that stuff correctly, which can save you a few minutes of researching that stuff. But I know how to do that already because I've been doing this with clients forever. But yeah, that's the second live writing breakdown. Let me just summarize again real quick what I would do for this flow, just so I have it without going off on tangents there. I would add preview text. I would build a tiny bit more on the big benefits, especially like in this email. I don't know, this email, the list would work well. I'd probably build out another sentence or 2, or maybe even 3 on the benefits and what life looks like afterwards. They kind of do that, but I kind of want to paint a better picture. Email 4, I would add some testimonials, probably 2 testimonials, maybe 3 if their testimonials aren't super long, but 2 long testimonials that address different kinds of people. definitely would be powerful. Email 5, which is the last one, I would show them what life is like afterwards, but they have to check out now. And I also, yeah, your cart will expire soon. That's another good thing that it included there. But I think you guys get the picture here. You know, as copywriters and marketers and whatnot, you would still like, you could still take this and punch it up into something that is ready to go live. You could subject line, all that stuff.